Yo, what's up guys, my name's Hacky, and in this video we're going to take a look at the best Imani Tech upgradable cars in GTA Online. I'm just going to call Imani Tech IT for short, but ever since we got IT cars introduced into GTA Online, some of those cars have been the go-to for a lot of people. With their special capabilities, they just became really popular for sure. First up is the Jubilee, which is arguably the nicest looking Imani Tech vehicle out there, at least one of them. It's got a very luxurious look to it. It's an amazing looking SUV and it drives pretty well too. I did actually feature it in the most luxurious cars video I did in GTA Online, and rightly so. I mean, this car looks amazing. It goes well with so many different paint jobs, especially with a darker classy type color. It looks really cool at nighttime, I bet, just driving around the city. It has a buy it now price of about $1.6 million and a trade price of about 1.2, which you might think is a lot, but comparing it to the vehicles we have later on, it's really not that much. So if we're thinking about only the Imani Tech price points, this one's really not that bad. It's also very nice that it has the extra armor upgrade, so it could withstand a couple missiles. You can use a machine gun on the front of it, which I don't find to be all that useful, but I mean, it's there if you care about it, I guess. Proximity mine upgrades are also available, and the windows can also be bullet resistant. That's a very solid defensive ability. Of course, with the Imani Tech, you can also put the missile lock-on jammer on there, so this vehicle is going to be geared up and ready to defend. Just like a lot of these, it's really the vehicle performance that sets these apart, I'd say. For an SUV, the Jubilee definitely has some solid performance too. Decent speed, good handling, and I'm pretty happy with it all around. And these are in no particular order, by the way, so don't think the Jubilee is the least good Imani Tech vehicle. Next up is the Omnis EGT. Great car, and it's no surprise that it's actually a lot of people's go-to Imani Tech vehicle. You know what? Not just go-to IT vehicle, but just overall go-to vehicle in the game nowadays. The EGT is an electric vehicle, so it has a crazy good acceleration, and then the top speed isn't as good, but by all means, it's not even that bad at all. And when you put the extra armor upgrade on it, it's going to be able to take even more rockets than the Jubilee. It's like 12 rockets or something, or missiles I'll say, that it could withstand before actually fully blowing up, which is extremely good for something that I believe is classified as a sports car. I'm guilty of not using the EGT enough because it is top tier when it comes to Imani Tech. I don't think there's a better performing Imani Tech vehicle than this one, so I'd recommend you go for this one if you have to choose only one to buy. Plus, like the Jubilee, I think it looks amazing as well. Most Imani Tech cars have really good looks, and the Omnis EGT is definitely no exception to that. It'll cost you $1.8 million, which once again, compared to some other Imani Tech vehicles, it's not that bad. But yes, it is going to be very expensive for some people. You just kind of gotta expect it at this point. Next is the most recently released Imani Tech vehicle out there, which is the 300R. Now, people only had a certain amount of time to buy it, which is kind of odd. So exactly at the time of this recording, you can't get it, but maybe you could just buy it off a friend in the LS car meet or something like that. Let people know down below in the comments if you know different ways they can actually get it while it's not available to buy on the internet and stuff. It's also classified as a sports car like the EGT, but it is non-electric, so it is a bit different of a feel to drive it around. So it might have a little better top speed than the EGT, but the acceleration is definitely not better than the EGT. I mean, the EGT hands down has the best acceleration among all IT cars. If you have to choose between the two, just know that the EGT sounds like a spaceship and the 300R sounds like a normal motor engine vehicle. And of course, it has all of the great upgrades with Imani Tech, like proximity mines, machine gun on the front of it. Imagine if they would put rockets on IT cars. That would make IT cars ridiculously overpowered, I'd say. So it's kind of a good thing, if you ask me, that they don't have missiles, because I mean, those vehicles would be ridiculous. And the extra armor upgrade is gonna get you 12 homing missiles that the car can withstand, which is amazing. And one last point, that the 300R is about $300,000 more expensive than the EGT at just under 2.1 million. If that 300k is a deal breaker for you, just know that. Next up is the Buffalo STX. Now, this isn't only the best muscle car in the IT class, but I'd say it's the best muscle car overall in the game. If you like muscle cars straight up, you have to get this car because it's just the absolute top tier. In comparison to other muscle cars, it is the best of the best. The speed is very good, handling is fantastic, but one thing, don't expect the acceleration to be as good as like the EGT, because it's just not, because ultimately it is still a muscle car and it has to have some proportions. For some honorable honorable mentions, we're gonna start with one that's a bit different, which is the weaponized Ignis. Now, if you're on last gen, you're probably less familiar with this car. That's because it's only exclusive to next gen GTA. So if you're on next gen GTA or you're looking to upgrade, this vehicle is an absolute beast. It has a super strong machine gun on the top of it. It's way stronger than the machine gun on like the Jubilee and the 300R and stuff. It is a tank of a machine gun. It can blow up street cars in just like a few seconds, I'd say. It's crazy. And it's a supercar, and you can put HSW upgrades on it, so the weaponized Ignis is ridiculously good. And to continue the honorable mentions list, after all that, we have the Champion, the Patriot Mil Spec, which is a very cool military looking vehicle, or just very armored. We also have the Greenwood, which is a muscle car, and the Granger 3600 LX, which is a pretty large SUV. What's your absolute favorite IT car? Let me know in the comments down below. Now click the video on screen now if you want to check out the best Pegasus vehicles you can buy in GTA Online. I hope you all enjoy that video, and peace.